If I had to start flipping outboard motors from zero again, no tools, no money, no experience, just a garage, 2 hands, and motivation. This is exactly what I would do. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the tools that you need to start fixing, flipping, and selling outboard motors. And because we just hit 10,000 subscribers, I want to give back to the community that has supported this channel from day one. So I'm giving away a game-changing tool that can level up your toolbox.
Giveaway alert! Stay tuned for your chance to win.
So let's start with the tools. If you've seen my videos, you would have saw grinders, presses, and machines everywhere, but most of that belongs to my father. And he doesn't even work on outboard motors. The real essentials, the tools I use every single day, are right here in this toolbox. And this might look expensive or complicated, but in fact, it's actually not. And all these tools are very simple and relatively affordable. You can even find most of these tools used in a garage sale or on Marketplace. With these tools, you can repair outboard motors at home or flip them for profit. I will show you my top essential tools while demonstrating them on one of these engines. My number one pick of the tools you need to work on outboard motors is metric socket set. And of course, one that has 10mm sockets. And I don't just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I have them all because they're always magically teleporting themselves away from my toolbox. So you gotta make sure you keep enough when you need it. And you may ask, is it really necessary to have a 10mm socket? And my answer is yes, because with the 10mm, you can practically take apart the entire engine. Like, for example, taking the valve cover off or taking this intake manifold apart. It fits here, 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 and here. So basically, you can take this entire engine apart with just this one socket. And tool number 2 is going to be a ratchet and an extension. With just this simple tool, you can accomplish a lot of things paired with that 10mm socket that I talked about earlier. You don't need fancy electric power tools. Just a simple ratchet and a socket will get you through most of the problems you'll have on your first outboard motor flip. I especially recommend this extension. It allows you to get in places that you thought were impossible. The next tool that's extremely important if you're flipping anything, and I mean anything, with an engine, is a compression tester. A compression tester allows you to check the compression and basically the condition of an engine internally. And it's one of the most important things that you should have when you're buying a used engine. And one very important thing when you use a compression tester, if you don't know, is when you're pulling a compression test on an engine, it's very important to make sure the engine is at wide open throttle. I've seen many engines from people that say they have low compression, and when in reality, all they had to do is perform the test with the throttle completely open, which gives you a different reading. I want to do a compression test cold and make sure that the compression is good, so when we sell this engine, we know we're selling a good engine to somebody else. Sounds about right. So now that we checked the compression and saw that all the cylinders were at least at 100 psi and they were pretty even, that's the main thing you want to look for. So keep that in mind when you do your next compression test. Before I move forward with the tools, I want to share a valuable piece of advice that will help you in your learning journey. And it will make a huge difference in how you understand engines. Here with me is the first outboard motor that I ever bought with my own money. And this little motor taught me a lot of what I know how to do today. The best part about this little motor was it taught me that I shouldn't be scared to take on projects. And since it was affordable, I was able to do a lot of things that I didn't have experience on and learn from my mistakes. This simple 2-stroke engine contains all the fundamental features you need to understand before moving to more advanced systems. Learning the basics hands-on was far more effective than simply reading about them in a book. If you can get one of these little motors running, you will build a strong foundation that will prepare you to take on more complex repairs in the future. And the great thing is, all the tools that I mentioned previously is really what you need to start your first basic flips. But if you want to level up your game, I always recommend, once you make a little money flipping, you should always reinvest into better tools that will save you time and money. Like this electric ratchet, for example, or this impact gun. With these tools, you can do jobs and half the time that it would take you to do them with the manual counterpart. And you always want to remember that time is equal to money. So the more time you'll save, allowing you to buy more things to flip and making more money. Now, you don't have to spend big money on name brands. You just have to get something that works in your budget. Now, you can buy any one of these brands and they should do the job just fine. Now, this next one is a bit of a luxury, but if it's in your budget, I highly recommend that you buy one. I wouldn't know what I was missing until I bought one of these for myself. And this is an oil extractor pump. The oil extractor pump allows you to suck engine oil without making a gigantic mess all over your driveway, which, I hate to say it, but I've done a few times more than I would like to admit. You just insert the tube, pump, and the oil will come out nice and clean. No spills, no stains, no driveway disasters. Your shop will thank you. And of course, you have to remember the main rule when flipping anything, actually, that the most important thing you want to do is take something that you bought for a good price that probably doesn't look too good and make it look better, which of course will increase the value. And that's the main principle behind flipping really anything. And one way you can accomplish that is by simply cleaning it. And the way I like to clean my outboard motors is with a pressure cleaner. Now, I have this pressure cleaner that I actually made, but you don't need something as elaborate as this. You can easily buy a pressure cleaner from your local hardware store or even find one in bulk trash like I did a couple years ago, which served me for many years. All you need is something that has around 1500 psi and sprays water, as well as possibly soap if you want to get really fancy. And that's how I get these engines that were old and crusty when I bought them to look almost brand new, just with a little bit of cleaning, soap and water, and a little bit of silicone spray, which is what I use to make the engine shine like a brand new one. Last but not least, the tool that you've been waiting for. This will level up the way you flip outboard motors. 10,000 subscribers isn't just a number. It's every one of you who watched, commented, listened, and supported. We built this together, not just the channel, but the community. So instead of saying thank you, I want to give something back to you. And here it is. Ansel and Rob's Garage have partnered up together to give this amazing tool to you guys. This is the ANCEL MR500 outboard motor scan diagnostic tool. An amazing scan tool that allows you to actually read codes and troubleshoot problems on your outboard motor, which will save you thousands of dollars because you won't have to take it to the dealer anymore. To show you what the scanner can do, I'm going to be plugging in to this Mercury Verado that I recently picked up. And with the main cable plugged into the scanner, we're going to take the specialty cable that Ansel provided, plug it in, which now allows us to connect right to the motor. So now we're going to disconnect the terminator, which is right here. And we're going to plug in our ANCEL MR500 cable, just like that. So now that we've plugged it in and select the correct year, make, and model of engine, we just got to turn the ignition on to supply power so we can read the codes off the engine. We have to select what engine this is. So we're going to go to Mercury, and now we're going to select Mercury, but there's other options. And as you can see, it wants you to put the serial number, but because this is a Verado, we're going to hit V for Verado. And as you can see, there is a ton of different options here. So the scanner should have you covered as long as your motor is compatible with this interface. While I go through my Mercury with the MR500, here are some key details. It provides maintenance resets that easily allows you to reset service reminders and oil changes. It also allows you to keep watercraft in peak condition. Idle speed adjustments to optimize fuel and engine performance, advanced diagnostics, and bidirectional testing, which allows you to actually control certain components and sensors to troubleshoot issues that you may have. 15 reset functions to allow you to have comprehensive control over throttle, learning, oil life, and other critical systems. Now, the most crucial thing, we're going to check if this has any stored codes in it, and that could be very helpful if you're buying an outboard that's used and you have no idea the history of it, or if you have an electrical issue and no gauges that tell you what's going on. This is very useful. So we're going to hit DCT, which means diagnostic trouble codes, hit enter, and look at that, we have no codes, which that's kind of amazing, being that this is an old motor and it's a Mercury Verado, which may or may not be the most reliable engine. As you can see, the engine didn't have any codes. So we just unplugged the intake air pressure sensor, and let's see if that code comes up on here. So if you're having this issue at home, you could easily scan your motor and see what issues you're having. So let's see and go into the computer and see what it says. And as you can see right here, we have an intake air pressure sensor code, signal low, and it's active, meaning that currently it has no communication. Now let's connect the sensor back. And let's clear the code. And now, as you can see, we just cleared the codes and there's no more codes. And the great thing about the MR500 is it doesn't only do Mercury, it also does Yamaha, and better yet, Yamaha PWCs or watercraft, which is really good. Also, Suzuki outboards. And now we're going to try something a little bit different. This is a Yamaha stand-up jet ski. So now we're going to pop the hood off of this 4-stroke stand-up jet ski and see if we can read the hours or if it has any codes. And this is the really cool thing about the MR500. Now, this jet ski I bought brand new, and I never realized how many hours I put on it because there's no hour meter on it. So because of the scanner, I'm actually able to see a graph of the total hours that the jet ski has ran and the RPM that the engine has ran according to those hours, which is really amazing because the only way that I've seen you've been able to do this is literally take it to the dealer, which should probably cost over $200. And another really cool thing that this scanner does is it allows you to perform active tests. So if you're trying to figure out an issue, you can actually activate ignition coils, fuel pump, and it looks like even purge the fuel system, which is pretty cool. So now that I showed you what the scanners are capable of and how they work, let's talk about the giveaway. And thanks to ANCEL for sponsoring this video and allowing us to give away one of these brand new scanners to you. But not just one, but actually 2 scanners we're giving away, which is really incredible. So the giveaway is open worldwide, and we're going to be giving away a Mercury and a Yamaha scan tool. To enter in the giveaway, you have to follow these simple steps. Step number 1, subscribe to Rob's Garage's YouTube channel. Step number 2, follow ANCEL Global on Instagram and YouTube. Here's the profile information to follow. And make a comment of what you would like to do with the scanner in a short summary down below. To participate, you must own a Yamaha or a Mercury. To participate in this giveaway, make sure you click the link down below and register with a valid email so we can contact you if you won the scanner. Before shipping out the scanner, ANCEL will confirm the compatibility of the MR500 to your motor. If it doesn't support your engine, you will receive a different product of equal value, no downgrade, you'll still win. The winners will be announced live on YouTube on December 26, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to participate and tune in to see if you want a brand new ANCEL MR500. And if you just want one right now and don't want to wait for the giveaway, make sure you enter Rob's40 to get $40 off, and I earn a small commission from every scanner that you buy, which helps support the channel. Thanks for everyone that's watched Rob's Garages, and stay tuned to see what happens in this giveaway. And I really appreciate this community we built. Good luck to everyone on the giveaway.